There are a few things you need to keep in mind as you begin to color. Don't forget to look at your original cartoons to check out the coloring style that was used in it and try to keep it consistent in yours to help your self-portrait feel like the cartoon. Be sure to use sharp colored pencils for small details. Make sure to color slowly and try to stay in the lines. Remember, you can layer different colors to build up values if needed or to help you better match a color. Also, look and see if your original cartoon used an outline. As I analyzed the use of color in the Simpsons cartoon, I noticed that it was mostly flat color. However, there is a lighter value on one side to show the highlight, where you see white or a lighter version of the color in that area. And on the opposite side, you see a darker value of the color, or like a gray, to represent the shadow. Most of the characters have a yellow skin tone. So when I started to color my Simpsons self-portrait, I first tested out my colors on my draft paper. I ended up layering a couple of colors to come up with my yellow, and then along the edges to create the shadow, I layered my orange very lightly. And then on my shirt, I used a lighter blue for the main area and a darker blue, and I pressed a little bit harder to create the shadow along the edges. When we examine the Powerpuff cartoon, we notice that it uses flat color, bright colors, it doesn't have any value or it doesn't look 3D, and we notice there is a prominent like white area in the eyes. I also need to keep in mind the colors that I need to include to represent myself. So for example, I needed to create a dark brown for the hair, brown for the eyes. I chose blue for the shirt because it's my favorite color. So keep in mind how you can also use your colors to personalize your cartoon self-portraits. Before I started coloring my Tim Burton self-portrait, I looked at some examples. And what I noticed was there's a lot of shading in the face, including around the eyes to make them feel more hollow. Same with the cheeks. The cheekbones are really emphasized and shadows on the edges of the face. A very pale skin color and almost a grayish skin color. There was also a pen and ink style. So I went over the edges quickly with my fine Sharpie to create almost this loose sketching feel to it. And then I also noticed that I needed more muted colors. So I made sure to go over my colors with like a darker version of the color to help make it feel not as bright. One of the things I noticed when analyzing the Disney style cartoon was that there was a lot of value used. So showing the highlights and shadows, especially in the hair and the clothes, there are lighter areas of value and darker areas of color to create the shadows. You'll also notice there's pink blush on the cheeks and really pink or red lips, a lot of bright colors or pastel colors, and I also noticed a lot of shading and the hair was done in like big sections, almost like big clumps. So now it's time to start coloring your final cartoon self-portraits. One other quick reminder, don't forget to add the names of the cartoons underneath each of your drawings so I know which cartoon inspired that self-portrait. Good luck, and as always, ask me if you have any questions.